remember my grandmother as she attempts to connect with her second children. She finds the only English word she knows from somewhere hidden in the belly of her 4'9" body, and instead of "I won't gay," she greets us with "bye-bye."
Poetry performances is something that has always been on our shores, and the performers are spicing things up by adding a twist to the tale.
The other day, we danced on the street. Joy in our hearts, we thought we were free. 3 young folks fell to our right. Countless more fell to our left. Looking up far from the crowd, we beheld red-hot guns. We thought it was oil, but it was blood. We thought it was oil, but this was blood.
And Akeem Lasisi is no stranger to the genre, over which has given him several laurels. You could call it his own unique way of letting people enjoy poetry.
My poetry is Oruku Tindi 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 Tindi. My song is Oruku Tindi 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 Tindi. My poetry that rises by the day like the stalls of Oyigbo, and it rises by night like Allen girls. The journey has been very, very interesting. We've been able to win more audience, for poetry, which is actually my target as a poet. Having, discovered that many people do not actually, they are scared when it comes to poetry. Prose, yes, drama, film, theater, they have a larger audience, but poetry scares many people. Not really their fault, maybe because many of the poems they came across maybe too difficult, and Orunmila are sent on holiday Opele, the divination chain. Oya is nowhere to be found at the riverside.
This is not music, it's poetry, performance poetry.
I felt that, okay, there's a way we can win more people, more converts, for poetry. By doing what? By giving people poetry exactly the way they want it, and also in a way that is going to elevate, their spirits, intellect, and everything. We bring music, we bring dancers, we bring a bit of drama too. Then we put in the video. So it's been a very interesting journey, and I've also been very productive, having been inspired by the way people have been receiving it. I yell and thirst for a smile as my dream, our dream, lingers in the harrowing chill of your slippery faith.
Adding a spark to the traditional poetry session, and every time he tries to raise the bar.
I used to do, for instance, solo principally. I would just go out there, and at a point I had a very functional troupe. We are regrouping now. When we were doing stage, but when music, studio work came into it, things have to change. Especially when I also began to work with different studio engineers and cinematographers, editors here and there. So things are changing.
After publishing works such as Iremoje, a Rachel Park poetry for ace producer and human rights activist Ken Saro-Wiwa, Wonderland to Night of My Flight, the words had to breathe life through performances like Postmortem dedicated to Chief Moshood Abiola, Wonderland Elele Ture, Oriagbe, which is a salute to Nobel laureate Professor Wole Soyinka, to Udeme.
When I was just starting the experiment, I felt and feel that it is easier to introduce something new to people through all this romance, I love you, I don't love you thing. But I do far, more beyond that. Even at times when you think that all we are doing is love, underneath, if you listen carefully, you watch carefully, you could even discover that we are just using the romance surface to pass a much deeper message.
The tales are always alive and full of color, covering subjects from love to betrayal to culture and more. Akeem tells us what has kept him going despite the odds.
The challenges will always be there. You are producing in this kind of environment. You know, when you do, it's a different thing when if you sit down somewhere, you are writing your poetry, you alone. And even if you are publishing, it's between you and the printer and probably the publisher. But when I want to go into musical poetry, first you are bringing a lot of professionals, a lot of people who have their strengths, their weaknesses, their whatever you call it. It is still relatively a novel thing, a relatively new thing. So it's people want to access things, they want to read things the way they do conventional media, like maybe music and film in some places. So you got to navigate all those curves in the process of. However, whatever challenges that we've been having what looks like more support than interventions than challenges.
The meeting place between words, tradition and culture, as seen in his video, as he works with a group of artists, dancers, musicians and drummers just to bring his work to life. And no matter what goes on in the act, he ensures that poetry, which is the essence of putting it together, is never lost in the whole drama.
The woodpecker is here. In its beak a resolute steel. Without an axe it carves a mortar. With the strength of a pigeon's love, you have the world beneath your feet.
This graduate of Obafemi Awolowo University Ile-Ife, Osun State, has embraced the profession in journalism and yet still squeezes out time to pursue his passion, which has not come without a price.
You will be my only constituency project. If I can wriggle my way into the Senate House.
He still has more in the offering as he's working on like Jantolo, and his legacies are real and everywhere a tribute to the late Rashid Gbadamosi, who was one of Nigeria's great art collectors. All his efforts to promote this genre has not gone unnoticed. In 2000 and 2005, he won the Anna Prize for Poetry.